Alumni Podcast with Tek Prem.
Vet Alumni Podcast. I'm Tek. He's Prem. Howie SZN Returns.
Hey, man, this guy understands needs. And he is addressing just about every need, at least with one guy to start at that position spot.
Yeah, I mean, I was concerned on the moves that he hadn't made, but last night surprised me. Before we get to that, a lot of movement to start free agency period. A very solid start. Saquon Barkley is an Eagle. How do we feel about it?
I have mixed feelings initially.
Yeah, me too.
But as it sits with me more, what I'm realizing, and this is something that I was thinking about earlier, is in free agency, you want impact players at every position. You want a guy that can either take it to the house on offense or a guy that can create turnovers on defense. And that's really all he has brought in so far, is impact players.
I get it.
I can't be mad at impact players, but you didn't have to spend as much on a running back. We know that.
Even
Saquon's
though
still young, though, man.
When you break down the numbers, I mean, it looked like 13.5 with a $17 million max a year.
It's a 2-year deal. It's a 2-year deal.
It's essentially a 2-year deal where he's making about $11 million. 11.1 million, I think.
It's not crazy. It's really not crazy.
With incentives, and there's an injury insurance for the team.
Right.
So, you know, they could cut him, like you said, after he only holds a sizable cap hit next year.
Right.
And then after that, you could say goodbye.
Yeah. And think about Jalen now with a legit power running back behind him.
Yeah,
That's a big thing.
And the fact, the way I see Saquon isn't just as a running back or even in the screen pass game, because the Eagles don't have a screen pass game. Now, that may change.
Yeah, I hope it does.
But I don't think Jalen Hurts is a big fan of the screen pass game. But
it's so useful, though, sometimes.
But what Saquon does really well is he picks up the blitz.
That's a good thing because we have struggled in that department,
and
that's no secret.
I think Howie watched it for weeks and said, I can't take this. We have to switch our philosophy.
It's pretty brutal.
Because Swift couldn't block.
No.
And
he got overpaid. And
by the way, this running back crop, I sat here last week, and by the way, it wasn't just me. I had heard pundits and all over, from the NFL Network to everybody talking about, you know, Derrick Henry was somewhere between an 8 and 9 million max. I thought he was somewhere between 6 and 8. 8 max. I saw him as an 8 max guy.
I thought he might get 10. I said that.
Yeah, you said it.
Just because of who he is and with the right fit, a team's like the Ravens, that's a perfect fit.
I actually, in my somewhat diluted mind, thought Derrick Henry will sign a 1-year deal somewhere for like $4.5 million. I thought Swift is like a $3.5 million guy.
Right.
And the fact that Swift comes out, and the Bears being the Bears, I mean, bad organizations are going to be bad for a reason.
Absolutely.
They signed DeAndre Swift, who's not an $8 million running back. They signed him to an $8 million a year deal, and it set the market. And as soon as that happened, I said, damn it, we're in trouble.
Here's the thing, though, about Swift. And just because he's a local guy and he's always been superior on the field, superb as a running back. The thing about Swift is he is going to have a chance in Chicago to actually be a feature back in a way that he was only featured like that here maybe 4 games last year.
Right.
And look what he did.
Yeah,
that's why they did that, because they're looking at that tape of when we featured him and just basically ate up games with him.
And they just want to feature
him.
They
want to feature him like that every week because they don't have a quarterback.
No,
who's throwing the ball. So he's going to have 20 to 30 touches every week. And you know what? I bet Swift will put up 1,500 total yards and 10 TDs out there and earn that money.
Yeah,
because it's just volume alone. It's volume.
They're going to have a rookie quarterback, which brings up the very next question. Before we rattle off all that the Eagles did, we have to address this because it's been flying around.
What you got?
The fact that Justin Fields could be made available for a 5th-round pick.
I can't stand this conversation.
I can't stand it either.
It's preposterous.
It is.
Here's the thing, all right? I understand people on the positive side of it saying, you need insurance, You're totally negating the truth of the psychology of a team. And the psychology of a team is going to be immediately impacted when you have a comparable aged, comparable experienced
basically Jalen Hurts.
Basically, he's 1B.
When you have Jalen Hurts,
yes,
behind
that's
Jalen,
a good way to put it.
Jalen will have a bad game, and you know what happens.
There's one name to go get as your backup quarterback. He has history with A.J. Brown, and his name is Ryan Tannehill.
You know what? I like Ryan Tannehill.
It just makes sense. You have a real running back now. You don't need a scrambling quarterback.
I really like Tyler Huntley, too. I feel like he is...
I trust Tannehill in the playoffs more.
He's sugar-free Jalen Hurts.
Look, what if Jalen goes down late
Huntley.
like Carson did? I like sugar-free and diet. That's good. Maybe bring them both here.
Yeah, exactly.
Have all the options.
Why not? Exactly. Diet, sugar-free, have them all.
Thing about Tannehill, bro, is that he is going to give you a chance to win in the playoffs if Jalen, God forbid, goes down late in the year.
No, you're right about that.
He's out for the playoffs, and you got Ryan Tannehill back there?
I mean, he proved he's a capable starter. I mean, that's why Vegas signed Minshew. He's going to compete to start.
Yeah, because
like
Tannehill has shown that he is not only an effective game manager, but he's an effective game manager with upside when he has playmakers.
Right.
And he has playmakers here.
Yes.
I really hope Howie throws a 1 year at him. That's the guy that's supposed to be the backup this year.
My three names for the backup quarterback position were Tyler Huntley, Ryan Tannehill, and Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy G, I'll go no, only because
Well,
you have more propensity for any kind of conflict or controversy if Jalen has a couple down weeks.
Well,
you don't have that issue with Tannehill or Huntley.
Well, you're right, but here's the problem with Jimmy G of why I have him third is because I think I can't count Justin Fields. I can only count the guys that are free agents.
Yeah.
And I think he's the third best available. And he's a failed starter, which is what I want, actually. I don't want a guy who's been a bad... Like Tyler Huntley...
He performed well last year.
Yes, and he went to the Pro Bowl.
Well, that's just...
I know.
The Pro Bowl has lost all credibility.
I know it has.
It used to actually mean something.
Yeah,
This
I
guy's
know.
a Pro Bowler. Ronnie Lott,
I know.
Steve
Yes.
Atwater.
You're right.
Jerry Rice.
Yes.
These guys were Pro Bowlers.
Absolutely.
Tyler Huntley.
Not a Pro Bowler.
At the flag football Pro Bowl.
I know. But listen, he went nonetheless.
I hear you. He's got talent for what
well,
he is.
He played well enough to be considered as a top quarterback when all the other ones declined to go.
Yeah.
So I like Huntley, but I get it. Tannehill, I understand what you're saying. Tannehill would be the better pick because he's a guy who's not going to give you any kind of quarterback controversy, and he gives you the best chance to win in a playoff game.
He's going to come in like a better A.J. Feely.
Yeah, you know what? I hear you.
That's what he would be. He would be A.J. Feely with more talent.
I think the problem with Jimmy G is he can't stay on the field.
No,
I mean,
Jimmy G is
he's
not
on
cut
there
out
for
for
a few
Philly.
snaps and he gets hit and he's done. He's out.
He's got too punchable of a face. He's not good for Philadelphia.
Yeah, I don't think he's. Yeah, I hear you. He's really not. He's got the model looks like the.
It's like
the
Blake Snell. Blake Snell,
looks.
not good for Philadelphia. Punchable face.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo, and I don't mean this in a violent way. I mean this in like a figurative. Like imagine him at a press conference handling the Philadelphia media way.
You're right about that.
That's how I mean punchable.
No,
face.
you're right. You're right. Okay, so we got that out of the way. The Eagles signed edge rusher Bryce Huff.
Love it.
Presumably to replace Josh Sweat.
Just keep them all at this point.
I like Bryce
Keep
Huff,
them all at
right?
this point.
I like Bryce Huff. Here is my only issue. Is Josh Sweat played 90% or more of the snaps.
He gave you good football.
And Bryce Huff has never played more than 43% of the snaps. I get it. They're
young.
He's a guy who's ready to take that next step and take on a bigger role, but he hasn't proved it. Josh Sweat is a proven guy, a good player. He's a good football player.
Yeah, we got him in the fourth round. That was a fourth round, I believe, right?
Yeah,
and good value.
He wasn't great last year, but, listen, the whole defense sucked last year. I'm not going to put that entirely on Josh Sweat.
No, you can't.
Listen, he's a proven guy at that position. I don't think Bryce Huff is as proven. I like what I saw from Huff. I can't escape all these highlight videos. I like what I see. He's fast. I mean, he's fast. He beats his guy.
Yeah.
And I like that.
He does.
I like that.
He's got the burst.
But I like this pickup more if Hassan Reddick stays.
Yo, man, I agree with you because Hassan Reddick is a double-digit sack guarantee.
Yeah.
When you have a double-digit sack guarantee and you just brought in probably another double-digit sack guarantee, when you think about what these guys are going to do,
I mean,
then you factor in that you now have a competent linebacker with upside.
Now, Bryce Huff did he did rank last of all NFL players in stopping the run. But look, Sweat was not a great run stopper either. Hassan Reddick is certainly not a good run stopper.
These guys are looking at the quarterback. I mean, they're gonna bite. They're gonna bite on the play action every time. Usually, anyway. I mean,
this guy's a pass rush specialist. That's what you're bringing him in to do. But it makes more sense if you keep Reddick and you still got Nolan Smith there. You got Bryce Huff, and I believe you also have BG back. But I believe you take an edge rusher in the first round with your first pick.
I wouldn't be upset with that.
I
could also say take a corner, take a top flight corner, man.
I get it,
because then you can utilize the fact that 2 years ago Bradbury was a Pro Bowler, right? If you drafted a top flight corner,
but they could
then you could move Bradbury and pay a corner on a rookie deal, and you just put him out there, top flight, first round guy, no doubt about it, guy.
They could
Division
make
1A.
All right, but let me say this: if you think they should draft a corner in the first round, then why not trade that pick for Patrick Surtain?
I agree with that too.
Exactly. Because I think
actually that's a
splash move could be coming.
It would take Reddick in a first, and they'd send you Surtain.
Really? You would have to get rid of Reddick?
I think so. Or Sweat.
Because I need Reddick.
Sweat in a first. Sweat in a first gets Surtain, bro.
You know, I think what happens with Josh Sweat, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, I think everybody's aware around the league the Josh Sweat situation, and I believe he gets released. That's how I view Josh Sweat.
They're basically playing. They're making Howie show his hand.
Yep, he's going to end up having to release
Show your
Josh
hand,
Sweat.
bro. Let's take it. Let's talk for a second, if we can, Tek, about the remaining free agents at the cornerback position, because J.C. Jackson is 28 years old.
Yeah.
He is not signed. That is a quality corner from Belichick's system.
Okay.
That is a guy that you can throw a one at, then you trade Bradbury and get yourself a 4th round or a 5th round pick back, and you got better immediately, and you got an extra pick.
Yeah. I mean,
these are the types of things that Howie does. I don't got to teach Howie how to do his job, but
right.
The bottom line is J.C. Jackson is out there. Adoree Jackson is out there.
Adoree Jackson they liked before, so he would...
I like J.C. Jackson better because he played for a better defensive mind.
Yeah.
But
I like Jackson's okay. I mean, he's okay.
I still think Howie is going to sign one of these guys, or even Rock Ya-Sin. I like Rock Ya-Sin. He's only 27.
You told me that, yeah.
One of those guys, you're going to be able to get Rock Ya-Sin possibly in June or July. He's going to add a corner like from this list that we talked about. Eli Apple, free agent. One of these types of guys.
I don't like Eli
Me neither.
Apple.
I'm just giving examples of guys that are out there that are actually better than any of the depth we have.
No, you're right about that. But
you know what I mean?
I believe you also have to view Isaiah Rodgers as a free agent that they signed in this class of free agents. I believe that.
Right, because Howie picked him up late.
And he's going to play this year. And look, Pro Football Focus had him ranked as one of the top corners per snap percentage.
Right.
And I like Isaiah Rodgers. I haven't seen much of him, but when they picked him up, I knew who he was just from watching some games and seeing him make a play or two and saying, oh, okay. And then when they picked him up, it's like, oh, yeah, I know who Isaiah Rodgers is.
Yeah, you knew who he was.
Yeah, but that's about it. I don't know much more about him other than I saw him make a play or two when I had the game on.
Yeah.
And that was it. So
Same. So here we go. Another thing here, Tek, is obviously linebacker. On the inside, you got Quan Alexander on the open market. Under Mike Tomlin. He came in under Mike Tomlin. He played defense in a system that values linebacker.
Well, yeah, because they still need to pick up a linebacker.
You need an inside linebacker.
That's the other big move last night. Devin White, the guy I wanted all along.
Yeah, well, we hadn't mentioned White yet. I was saying inside because he's outside.
I get it, but Devin White, a great signing.
Actually,
great
no, I'm
deal,
mistaken.
1 year, $7.5 million.
Devin White's an inside linebacker, Tek.
Oh, he's an inside
we're
linebacker.
Mistaken. Devin White is an inside linebacker.
I think he is tremendous. I think that was a great pick. I mean, look, I know he gets a bad rap on. He half-asses it. He takes plays off.
That's so subjective. Camus Grugier Hill on the market.
But look, Devin White's not going to be able to do that with this coaching staff, with Vic Fangio,
right?
And that huge, massive linebacker coach guy, Clint. What's his name?
Yeah, I forget. I like him.
That guy's like a Volvo coming at you.
It's perfect. I mean, you want guys like that on your coaching staff.
I don't think Devin White's going to be able to play that here. So he might have had a riff with the coaching staff over there, and he was taking plays off, and he was sometimes in it. But guess what? He's been a great player in this league, and this coaching staff is going to be hard-nosed with him. He's coming into a great environment. I love this signing. I wanted him last year.
Me too, man. Me
I wanted
too.
him this time last year. I wanted him to trade for him. I wanted him at the trade deadline. I'm so glad I had him circled as a guy that I wanted. I was willing to settle for Willie Gay Jr. and Frankie Louvu, knowing that we weren't getting Patrick Queen.
Right.
But
right.
Devin White was the guy I had identified.
We
for
talked
a full
about it
year.
last week too. We talked about it last week. We named these names.
I wanted Devin White. I'm so glad they got him. And re-signing CJGJ, bringing him back.
Huge,
a
man.
3-year deal. It's
Look,
huge.
these are impact. Like I said earlier in the show, everybody hung up on what they're doing and upset. Impact players is what you want during free agency.
Yeah.
They've already added a couple role players, Hennessy, Bond. Doesn't really get us excited, but we understand it. You extend the best kicker in the world.
By the way, yes. Jake Elliott.
Second best kicker in the world.
Yeah, Jake Elliott. And by the way, tied now with Justin Tucker in salary, the highest paid kickers in the league.
Yeah.
Jake Elliott and Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
I think that Jake Elliott, that was a great move.
Lock him up. Yeah, man.
Locking up Braden Mann was a good move. Locking up Landon Dickerson.
So these are all role players, although Landon Dickerson is an impact player. He's not at a skill position. But you want impact players. All Howie has been giving you as a Philadelphia Eagles fan so far in 3-4 days of free agency is impact moves.
Yeah, I mean, highlighted by Barkley, Huff, CJGJ, and now Devin White.
No, man. If I would have told you a week ago, in a week, Tech, these are 4 names we're going to have, you would sign up for that 11 times out of 10.
I'd be very ecstatic.
We couldn't have expected anything as good as this, really.
No, I mean, look, he got you to say, listen, did I want Xavier McKinney or Geno Stone? Absolutely.
Stone was your guy.
The 24-year-old stud corner, that's what I wanted.
Yeah, of course.
And they didn't want to spend on Xavier McKinney. And look, I get it, but I would have.
Me
but
too.
I get it.
I mean, the pedigree is there.
I mean, you only had one other team in the hunt outbidding you. You could have outbid them.
Speaking of that team, they have made some impressive moves.
Yeah,
Green Bay knows what they're doing.
Green Bay might be the team that is the best team in the NFC
Green
right
Bay,
now.
my rankings right now for the NFC, right now. Just because the Niners won the conference, you got to put them number 1. Just reality. I'm still going Birds 2 right now because of the moves.
Yeah.
But 3 is Green Bay.
Yeah, Green Bay's right there.
You got to go San Fran, Philly, Green Bay.
San Fran lost some guys too, and
they did. I lost Eric Armstead, man.
Yeah,
that's a big loss in the middle. That dominant San Fran defense.
He's in Jacksonville. That's big for Jacksonville.
Debo Samuel, I got news for you, Debo. Adding senior to your jersey ain't gonna stop the run, bro.
No, and Ravens were trying to trade for Debo, by the way.
Good.
I don't know if that's
good. Get him out the conference.
I want him out.
Get him out the conference.
And the Ravens will win it off. By the way, the Ravens and the Texans look tremendous right now.
Yeah,
they look like the 2 teams in the AFC outside of Kansas City.
Well, I tweeted a couple days ago, right before they got who did they get on defense? They got a big name on defense, right? I forgot who it was. The Texans. D'Amico got a linebacker to play his old role.
Right. He's been getting everybody. Yeah.
I tweeted the other day that the Texans are winning the AFC. That's my AFC champion pick.
Really?
Yeah, I'm saying it now.
Because I think you could be right.
I think
right
it's
now,
Texans, Ravens, or Texans, Chiefs in the AFC championship game.
Right now, those are the 3 teams for me. It's Kansas City, it's the Texans, and it's the Ravens.
Can you believe it?
They're
that
the
quick,
3 teams.
The Ravens, now all of a sudden, the Texans and the Packers are top 5, arguably, teams.
Right. Yeah,
arguably.
Yeah. And
that's football for you.
And I'm not sold on Jordan Love just yet, but Green Bay is right there.
He's the real deal.
He is,
and
but
that Jayden Reed
kid, I got to see a full Jordan Love season like that.
Yeah, me too.
So,
but Jayden Reed, that kid they got, he's going to be a star.
Yeah. Look, I like these moves the Eagles have made, and just to bring up the linebacker, Zach Bond, he's a low-risk, high-reward, 1-year deal just to see if he's any good. He could be a hidden gem. He could be a bum, but we'll see. My guess is they'll draft one as well. But here's the deal about Zach Bond, right? Because initially I was like, this is a nothing signing. You need to get Devin White. You need to get the right.
I had
you're
to check
signing Zach Bond.
I didn't even know who he was.
Me neither. But so I looked it up and I read a bunch of articles on him. I went to my Bible, Pro Football Reference, and I wasn't impressed with numbers. And that's always my first line is Pro Football Reference. And then I say, you know what? for a guy like him, numbers aren't going to tell the story. Let me look up a report on him and what his story is. Apparently, he was drafted out of Wisconsin. He was an outside linebacker, a specialized pass rusher. Coming out of college, he was brought in to fill a need for New Orleans. They immediately turned him into an inside linebacker. Yeah. They took him out of his natural position.
That's good, though.
And he kind of just didn't really make it as a starter there, and he was a backup, but he was a special teams player.
That's a good defense.
Right.
He's playing on a good defense.
So last year, I think Howie and Fangio and the coaching staff looked at some of the tape from the last half of the games last year with the Saints with him playing, and he played back to they had to move him outside. I don't know if it was injury or whatever the case was. They moved him back outside, and he played really well back at his natural position as a pass rusher. I think Fangio and Howie, I think they saw it and they said, you know what? This kid's got no market.
Let's go get this.
Let's go get him a 1-year deal.
What can we lose?
See what he is.
And we haven't even mentioned that the Patriots are basically paying Devontae Parker for us. I mean,
yeah, you know what? I look at Devontae Parker as and immediately when they signed him, I'm like, oh, wide receiver 3. And then I started really think about it.
Isn't he most of an outside guy though?
Yeah, he's kind of a. Well, I don't know. But
here's what they whiffed.
He's kind of a body. I think he's a wide receiver 4.
That makes sense.
I would draft a receiver.
You bring me to my only, not gripe, but my only criticism of the free agent period so far was that Howie rushed the wide receiver signing because that night.
Well, they got him for nothing. I think that's why.
Yeah, well, $1 million.
Yeah, $1 million.
Because the Pats are paying $3.
Yeah, so, they're paying to get rid of him,
which is amazing. But he's not a bad receiver. That's a low risk, high reward thing like Bond. But what I'm getting at is they pulled the trigger too soon on that because 12 hours later,
Renfro.
There you go. The best slot guy you could possibly want to fall into your lap in free agency is right there. You add Hunter Renfro to this lineup, dude. That's a real slot guy. That's a guy that he could have a game where Hunter Renfro, because AJ's getting all the attention. Hunter Renfro has 11 for 175 and 2 TDs. That's the kind of shit that could happen if you put Hunter Renfro in this offense.
And there's 3 other names that are, one in particular is intriguing. You got Mike Williams. He's out there. You got
injury guy. Though.
I know. Michael Thomas is another one.
Injury guy. Though. But hands, amazing hands.
But how about as a third guy? All
right.
How about Odell Beckham Jr.?
Not mad at it.
In there with Saquon.
I think
Giants fans are so pathetic right now. They'd be even worse.
It would be so funny. You know what? Odell has proven that he's matured. Because he's been on winners for the last couple years. He's just been on winners.
Yeah, listen.
The guy got a ring.
Yeah. Yes, he did with the Rams. And he was good with the Ravens last year.
Yeah, I think
he was okay with the Ravens last
year. Odell, I think he would fit right into that locker room. I think that he's got even though he's annoying sometimes, honestly, he's got a cool, outgoing personality. You need guys like that in your locker room.
Yeah, but I can't pay him much. See, if I'm bringing him in, I'm paying
$2 million.
Yeah, I was just about to say
1 year, $2 million.
Somewhere between $2 and $3 million. I can't give him some kind of big deal.
So you got Tyler Boyd out there too, Tek.
Yeah, and Curtis Samuel's out there.
The Bills scooped him up.
Oh, they did?
When I saw that.
When did that happen?
Yesterday evening. When I saw that, I thought to myself,
I missed that one.
There's a guy whose career now, after kind of being on crappy teams, Carolina, Washington,
with
Josh Allen, he is going to thrive.
Yeah.
He's a really good player, man. Curtis Samuel, first-round pick, by the way.
Yeah. And by the way, the Washington Commodores,
they're trying.
They're going to be better.
They are going to be
They don't have a quarterback right now.
Well, they're going to draft number 2.
I think they're going for Caleb Williams.
Which, you know what? After what they've done already, that makes sense.
Yeah, they'll be better.
Sense. I don't want that guy in our division, man. He's
a
good quarterback.
Yeah, they'll be better.
They will be.
Washington's going to step it up. They'll be a better team.
It'll be maybe 7 and 10. 8 and 9. 8 and 9, 7 and 10.
See,
That's
if they were smart, they draft the other kid. What's the name from LSU? Jalen, that quarterback. They draft the kid from LSU if they were smart. But they'll probably end up with Caleb Williams.
I got another one for you. I got another one for you, Tek.
All right.
This is probably the best one yet because he's only 26 years old.
That's the sweet spot. That's the number. 26.
You ready? Marquise Hollywood Brown.
Oh, you know what? I like Marquise Brown.
Yo,
Even though
put him in the slot.
But this
you know
would
what?
be
Forget
his.
it. Bring him in and make him your 4.
But he's only 26, and this would be what, his third team? This would be his third team.
Yeah, you got to wonder what's going on there.
Yeah,
Well,
I
he's an
love
injury
that.
guy too.
Yeah.
Braxton Berrios, another underrated slot guy that
I like
never got a real
Berrios.
shot. Look, Howie, Jamal Agnew, that kid from Jacksonville, is like a bowling. He's like a bowling ball. He's available as well. There's so many guys that Howie can target. I feel like he did get Parker just say, let's get a receiver real quick because it's cheap and easy, and why not?
Yeah,
Just
because
an extra body and
got him for nothing. He doesn't affect the cap.
he's got a pedigree. He's got a good pedigree overall.
Yeah.
But there's some receivers out here. Even Richie James, who was with KC last year, he's available. These are guys that are just quality.
I think
Chase Claypool available.
Uh,
He's 25 years old, dude.
Yeah,
These
I
are
know.
guys that can play ball.
Also going on his third team.
Yeah, true. They don't have to be the guy though.
Well, you know what? The position I really think is needed because he may be gone is tight end 2. Because we might lose.
Well, Stoll left.
We might lose Stoll.
He went to the Giants.
Oh, he's gone?
He went to the Giants.
When did this happen? What am I missing? I just saw Kendall Fuller sign, but I missed.
Last night around 8:45 maybe.
Are you kidding me? Unbelievable. Stoll's gone, and he's going to the rival.
You're busy. You had the headphones on. You're making beats. You know, it's
Christ.
okay.
Yeah,
It's all right.
I wasn't paying attention to that one. I was so hype about
Yeah,
Devin White. I
Eagles
was on the
Twitter-
phone for 2 hours about Devin White.
Well, you got to catch up with
Then
that.
I
about
missed.
that.
I missed that Jack Stoll is gone. Now you need a second tight end. I
Well,
hate to tell you.
You got Calcaterra in the
I
wings.
don't love Calcutta. He's okay.
I think he just needs more of a chance.
He's,
You could feature him more.
I think Albert O is their guy.
Well,
now.
there you go. That's what they're going to do. That's probably why they had already brought him back, I believe.
I think that's
Well,
a
and
position you need
Eagles
to.
Twitter last night was trying to make it seem like, the Giants strike back. Saquon Barkley and Jack Stoll. there is no strike back. You
No,
have
you know what the strike back is? The most pathetic thing ever. And by the way, James Franklin, Penn State head
what
coach, is a
joke,
complete
dude.
idiot.
What a moron!
He's an idiot.
Man. Shut your mouth.
So, and so, by the way, is Kirk Cousins. By the way, Kirk Cousins got another team.
He never
to give
won
him 100
anything.
$100 million guaranteed. This guy is an all-timer.
Arthur Blank.
I can't even believe it. What
God
Kirk
bless
Cousins,
Arthur Blank's heart. Maybe he has his son secretly running the team now.
They
or
asked
something.
Kirk Cousins at the press conference. What made you choose the Atlanta Falcons? Well, I'll tell you what made them choose the Atlanta Falcons. They're the only organization dumb enough to give him $100 million guaranteed. That's why he chose the Atlanta Falcons.
You know why I think that happened? That organization still hasn't recovered from the Super Bowl collapse.
No, they haven't. They've had ebbs and flows of looking like last year. They almost looked like a good team, and then not so much.
What was it 28-3?
Yeah,
in the Super Bowl.
They hadn't won, and then Tom Brady.
They needed like one more
back.
field goal.
Yeah,
The whole game.
Look,
They haven't recovered from that. This is the
haven't.
compensation.
but then he's in the presser, and he says, well, it was great to meet. Call with the training staff. You're not allowed to meet him. Why would you say that? Now you've opened up an investigation by saying it, and he has for the tampering, and it looks like they're going to get caught from his own admission, like an idiot. But James
Well, wait.
Franklin,
What if he meant when he got to the facility?
Well, I think he meant before.
But all he has to say is, "I meant when I landed today." What are you talking about, guys?
Well, he can, but it was kind of.
He made it sounded
It
like
was in the
he sounded
context
like
of
before.
like, why would you choose this organization? Well, because when I met, I had a call with the training staff and everybody involved, and I really liked what I was. It was like it made it seem
He was
like,
on a private jet.
Yeah, he because we all know everyone tampered. There's no way DeAndre Swift 5 minutes into the free agency period gets $8 million a year and there was no tampering. Are we kidding with this?
It's such a Mickey Mouse topic.
It began the week prior to in Indianapolis. That's when it began. So the whole notion.
Yeah, they took Flacco right from under our noses.
Yeah, yeah, I know. We actually wanted Flacco.
That would have been
believe
great.
that?
That would have been a great sign.
They wanted him.
Is there a better backup right now? Than
I
Joe
know. I
Flacco?
would listen. I would have gone with Flacco.
He's
I
the
like
gold
that backup.
standard of backups right now, Tek.
He is.
Tannehill's right there, though.
You're
behind
right
him.
about that.
Tannehill's
Tannehill
next.
could be right there. You're right
He
about
is.
that. but look, James Franklin says, "Oh yeah, it was Saquon. Howie. He talked to Howie." It's like, why would you say that? You can't talk to Howie. You just shut your mouth. What are you even doing talking about it? Why?
Someone stick a Hatfield dollar dog in this guy's mouth.
I can't even believe it. I couldn't believe it. And now the Giants fans are like, good, get him. And Giants fans, by the way, the Giants as an organization
delusional
have to press this issue because they let Saquon Barkley walk out for nothing. They didn't offer anything. They are dying now to get a pick back on a tampering charge in exchange for Saquon Barkley.
Yeah,
that would because they let him walk.
That would
foolishly.
Be absolutely absurd if that happened.
So look, I was mixed about Saquon. Pardon me, when they signed him, it was like, yeah, But then I thought about it, I'm like, but it changes their whole philosophy. I get it. Howie watched, and Lori, they watched this team and what they look like. And Swift was great in spots, but when you really needed something, you're counting on him and Gainwell, and it just didn't happen.
Well, the play calling would disappear from the play calling. There were games where I was thinking to myself, why is Swift not touching the ball anymore?
Right.
That's what I was going back to what I said earlier now with the Bears saw in him is they probably isolated those games where he was featured and said, if we do this every week, and we're just not turning the ball over, we have a chance to be competitive. And then they're stacking their defense simultaneously. So they're going to defense, run the ball control. I understand what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And they might add a Ryan Tannehill.
Well, I'd like that.
Because that's a win now move. The Bears right now, if they added a Ryan Tannehill, if they're adding Swift and doing some things on defense, I can make a case for them making the playoffs.
Maybe.
I mean, you can make the case. If they added a veteran quarterback.
Problem is they're the Bears.
I know. I'm being too optimistic about the Bears. I'm being glass half full for Chicago. I don't know. I have no idea why.
I did that last year.
I have no idea why.
I did that last year. Last year, I thought the Bears had a chance. I did. And then, no.
Bless your heart.
So, look, and when it came out that Kellen Moore wanted Saquon, this was a Kellen Moore signing. That was surprising to me because he thought that Saquon was the perfect fit.
Well, he wants his play action to be lethal.
Yes.
I mean, come on, man.
If
you load up like a jumbo set with just two wideouts. And you turn it, you do the handoff, and it's a play action.
Because, by the way,
everyone's biting on Saquon.
The play action with Swift and Gainwell, not a threat.
Saquon, them linebackers have to have an edge because of how strong he is. You know why? Because he's stronger than half the linebackers in the league.
Yeah, he's an automatic 3.5 yards, at least.
I love it, man. I'm excited for the Birds in a way that I never thought possible in March.
You know what? You're right about that.
Not since Nnamdi Asomugha.
Yeah.
I've been excited about the Birds in March.
I was bummed after, I couldn't have imagined. I knew they were going to make moves. But these moves are on par with what I wanted.
He's cooking, man. Rally Roseman.
I wanted, at the very least, at safety, I wanted CJ back.
Yep.
I needed an edge rusher, whether it was going to be in the draft or whether it was going to be a Chase Young or whatever. And they get the Bryce Huff kid who's young and ready to excel to the next level of his career, 26. He's... he was an undrafted kid.
Yo,
so
they're adding young dudes. CJ, 25?
Listen, it's 26.
Young dudes,
26
man.
is that sweet spot.
That is that
I
sweet
look
spot.
at 26 as the perfect age to do deals with these players. Devin White, 26. CJ, 26.
Yeah.
Bryce Huff, 26. Saquon Barkley is what, 26, 27?
It's uncanny. I bet Matt Hennessy is too, just because.
Matt Hennessy, good pickup.
That is a good pickup.
When they picked up Matt Hennessy, I said, good.
Well, when you lose Jason Kelsey, you got to do something right away.
Well, you had to get a backup center, and he can play all over the line.
It's a great pickup.
But it's a great pickup.
Great last name.
And guess what? Yeah, I love the last name. It forces the first round pick that I thought could be offensive line, forces it out. Now now you get like a tackle in like the third round, or you move up into the fourth round and you get a tackle there.
What Howie did by these moves he's made, Tech, is truly open up the possibility of drafting purely from a best available standpoint.
Yeah.
You go in almost with no plan. You have a plan, you have an idea, right?
Yeah.
But you go in saying, all right, well, we're at 22. And granted, you don't trade that pick, you're going to pick at 22. We have a few guys in mind. Forget about position. Here's our top 5 guys we're going to have at that position. We're just going right down the list. Who is it? Our best available from our metric. Forget about position.
It's not going to
That's the way you're supposed to draft.
It's not going to be O-line unless a guy falls, because the top O-line guys are the top 15, 16 picks in the draft.
But you're supposed to reinforce your team at all positions with the best possible guys. At every chance you have to get a guy, should be the best possible guy you can get, regardless of position.
I agree.
That's my philosophy if I was a GM.
I agree.
Even if I have a terrible quarterback and I'm looking for my franchise guy, if I'm not picking in the top 3, I'm not taking him.
Right.
I'm taking the best available at 18 or wherever I'm at, and then I'm trying to steal a quarterback later and find someone with skill and use my scouting department at that point.
Right. If they go edge rusher in the first round, and I know they never do it, but if they somehow went safety in this with their first pick in the second round, that first second round pick, if they go safety there, they will get one of the best safeties in the draft.
It's exciting, bro.
So, but will they do that? I don't know.
You got to go after the best free safety out there because you put him right next to CJ, GJ. Put him out there and start him right away. If you got a true blue chip guy, like a real blue chip player.
I look at safety and linebacker as positions they can't be done at yet. And by the way, end corner, I can't imagine a scenario where Bradbury's on this team. So for me,
I'm still standing by. I could very well see a corner taken early. I could see Howie, like I said last week, taking the 22nd pick and the second round pick, moving into the top 10 and taking the no doubt about it.
Because if you make a splash for a certain and then, draft another safety or another linebacker or sign another safety or another linebacker or do both of those things.
Stacked.
Now you're entering Super Bowl conversation.
And you're talking about a defense that you're not going to have to redo the next year like we just did this year.
Well, you're going to lose guys like Devin White unless you extend him. He's going to be a big money guy if he has a good year.
True.
But
True.
Guys like CJ, GJ are going to be locked up.
3 years.
I mean, so this is what you want.
Huff, 3 years.
Yeah, I imagine CJ, GJ. I think Huff is 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
I imagine CJ, GJ with Sidney Brown, not Reed Blankenship, but Sidney Brown.
That's an aggressive secondary.
Yeah, Brown's out until late November.
That's
so
a shame, man. I really like that kid. I like his spirit on the field.
It would be great if he can get back sooner than that, but I just can't see him being back before Thanksgiving.
That's a shame, man. Tough injury.
It is a tough injury.
Brutal injury.
But imagine CJ, GJ, Sidney Brown, and then I'm not sold on the Kobe Dean at all. To me, he's penciled in as a starter at that position. He shouldn't be. He should be fighting for a job in training camp. But I think, when Howie drafts a linebacker that early, he's gonna commit and say he's the guy, even though he shouldn't be the guy. And I think he'll be on the injury reserve. I think he'll be there before you even get to week 6.
Yeah. And it's good that we still do have a guy like Blankenship because he's still getting better too. People forget about Reed. I know that you're not trying to make him your everyday starter.
No, I'd like him as a third starter.
Third safety, he's perfect.
A third safety.
You throw him out there in your dime package sometimes even. Just to be a rover, just to be a free, because he's a ball hawk. Reed's a ball hawk.
He is. I don't love him in coverage. He can hit, but he's a weird guy. He can hit, but he's not a great tackler.
Yeah, he's not an everyday starter like they tried to make him. They did that by necessity. But a guy like Reed playing with a top safety like CJ GJ is a different thing.
But by the way, similar to Reed, CJ GJ can hit, but he's not a great tackler.
Right, big difference.
It's just like Reed. Reed can hit, and he's not a great tackler. And CJ GJ can hit, and he's not a great tackler.
I'll tell you who can tackle.
That can hit, but aren't great tacklers.
You know who can tackle? Devin White.
Devin White's a tackler. Listen.
And that's been one of our main issues is tackling.
If the coaching staff can get him on track as far as his attitude, I love this kid. He's 26, and you got him on a 1-year deal.
It's amazing.
On a tremendous deal, $7.5 million. Doesn't really super affect your cap. I know the way Howie probably structured this is not a huge cap hit. They still got money to spend. I still would go after a safety on the market. I mean, Quandre Diggs is still out there.
Yeah. Quandre Diggs is a good pickup.
And I mean, he played with Slay, was a Slay teammate.
True. That's a good point.
I would actually.
There's so many moves coming still.
There's gotta be moves.
This is day 4, dude.
I know.
It's remarkable.
I know it is.
4 days, 4 splash players.
Howie SZN returns. The man, he did it again.
RALLY ROSEMAN.
RALLY ROSEMAN. All right. Brought to you by the Fairless Hills Academy of Music. It's time for Vet Facts.
This is a Vet Fact.
Well, Tek, on July 7th, 1993, the magical year of 1993, the Phillies would play host to the LA Dodgers. At 7:37 first pitch in front of 41,730 would go 20 innings, Tek. 20 innings. The Phils would walk it off in the 20th and win by a score of 7-6. What a night that must have been at the Vet. Lenny Dykstra came to the plate 9 times.
Wow.
3 for 9 with 3 ribbies, but 10 plate appearances because he walked 2. Milt Thompson came to the plate 9 times, went 1 for 8. What a brutal night.
Day for Milty.
Crocker had a 2 for 7 with 2 ribbies. Actually, Milty with that one, he had 2 ribbies as well. No. Truck went deep. Nails went deep.
Woo!
Ricky Jordan made an appearance in this game. You had Terry Mulholland out there in this one. Kevin Stocker, Mickey Morandini. We know the names on that team.
Oh, yeah.
What a night. 20 innings, man. That must have been a late night at the Vet, dude.
Late night.
Very late night.
3 in the morning.
The Phils would use 7 pitchers, including Larry Anderson, who blew the save.
Oh!
So Larry's the reason that everyone was stuck there.
L.A.
Because in the top of the 9th, he allowed 2 runs, and they had to sit there for 11 more innings.
Oh, he had it. L.A. blew it to L.A.
It's okay, because not even Mitch Williams, Mike Williams.
I remember Mike Williams.
Would come in and get the win, going 6 innings from innings 14 through 20. 15 through 20.
Wow.
I'm fascinated.
He was a long man. He would come in and do multiple innings. Wow.
This box score is one of the most interesting box scores I've ever looked at. Some notable names from the LA Dodgers: Eric Karros.
Yep.
Jose Offerman.
Oh, I was a huge. You know what's so funny?
You liked his glasses?
I predicted.
You liked the shades, right?
When he was a rookie, I said, this kid Jose Offerman's going to be a star.
He was good. Offerman was good.
Not a star, though, but he didn't quite meet the expectations I had for him.
Yeah.
But
later in his career, Eric Davis, after going to the World Series with the Reds,
Eric Davis.
He was on this team. Ramon Martinez was a great pitcher.
He was a good player.
Great pitcher. Tim Wallach. This was a good Dodgers team.
Good Dodgers team.
They were only 4 games above 500, though. The Phils would finish this game 56-29. The game would last 6 hours and 10 minutes. July 7th, 1993, 7-6, Phils in 20.
When we're just under 2 weeks away from opening day.
Excited.
We'll get into it in depth next week, but if the season started today, Prem, who would be your starting center fielder?
I like that question. If Marsh is healthy, I think I'm putting him out there in center if he's healthy.
If he's healthy, he starts in center.
I think so. And I'd probably have Rojas in left field.
You're putting Rojas in left field?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
I think so.
So you're going, all right, regardless of position where
they're
they
interchangeable.
Are in the
I know that Rojas is probably overall a better fielder. I just feel like when you get them shots down the corner, down the line and stuff, Rojas' speed, he's going to naturally.
But what about Pache? Where's he fit in all this?
Pache is he's my first man off the bench
because he's had a really standout spring training from what I've
read.
read.
I still think Rojas has more upside as an all-around baseball player. I'm still lean that Rojas is the better all-around prospect.
So those are your outfielders.
But
Marsh,
right field,
Rojas,
we know Casty's out there.
Casty. Right. Those are your
outfielders. It's funny. You say you were surprised I said to move Rojas to left, and it really only is because of the fact that we've been so poor in left field defense overall that you can put your best outfielder there now, and you're gonna turn what would be doubles into singles because Rojas is gonna get to that ball.
Yeah,
and that's something that they've been missing.
That was a problem last year.
It was a big problem. So that's really why I say left field for him, even though it's not gonna happen. It's more of if I was managing the team, just from what I see, because I was a center fielder coming up when I was playing.
Okay, so let's rephrase. What's Rob Thompson gonna do starting center field?
I think he's probably gonna have Johan out there.
You think he's the starter? Rojas is the starting center fielder.
He's had a quiet spring, but I think he's going to have him out there.
So it'll be Marsh, Rojas, Casty, left to right.
Yeah, that's how I would probably think that Rob's going to do it. But I would flop Marsh and Rojas and put Rojas.
You would?
I would.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you know what?
It's not a popular opinion probably, but that's just kind of my personal baseball mind. For strategic defense, I want to cut off my down to third base line as best as I can. I want to keep those extra base hits. I want to keep the triples, doubles, and double singles.
It seemed like we gave up a lot of those.
He's gonna catch a lot of them by the wall too.
Yeah.
So that's my thought on that. You got a lot of pitchers that might get balls pulled by righties.
Yeah. Makes sense. All right. The Sixers are an embarrassment, Prem. Joel Embiid.
They played hard last night. That's for sure. Took a lead to the half against the Bucks.
Yeah, I hear you. I guess it's just all about Embiid. It's all about Embiid now because I look at this team.
Hang it up.
Well, he might be back in 3 to 4 weeks. I have no idea why. Honestly, if I'm Joe, I pack it in for the season.
That's what I'm saying. It's not worth it because they're not a championship team. Even if Joe comes back, you're not beating Boston.
The team between the front office and the players, they've made and are making very little effort to stay in it, to keep themselves in it. And it's like. I get it. They played hard against the Bucks. All right. You want to give them the Bucks game? Fine. But I'm tuned out on them. I put the games on, and then I go about whatever I'm doing. I'm on the phone. I'm washing dishes. I'm like doing other things.
You were doing dishes? Wow.
I do dishes. You know what I mean? You got to keep the ratio up. My girl does the dishes, and sometimes, to keep busy,
I'll do them occasionally.
I'll do the dishes.
Yeah, I do them occasionally, too.
I'll do stuff just to do it, to keep myself occupied, because I can't just sit there and watch these Sixers intently like I would. They're not as fun to watch as they were. They're just not.
No, it's
Tobias Harris.
I have
is a
nothing
joke.
to really say because we said when Joel went down that this was probably done.
Yeah, and it is.
I reconciled with it then.
Buddy Hield is a non-factor.
It's
Tobias Harris
surprising,
is
man.
horrendous.
2 points the other night.
Yeah, total non-factor.
2 points.
And Tobias Harris is the worst he's ever been. The worst he's ever been. He makes me look bad because I've been saying how much I thought he fit in with Nurse's scheme and the way Nurse has them playing. I loved how he fit.
Yeah.
He was playing well before the All-Star break. And this second half, he is dreadful.
It's very saddening, man. It's very saddening.
I just don't, so.
They're just not what we thought they were going to be without Joe. I thought they'd be a little better than this.
At least without Joe, I'm out. Oh, yeah, I did too.
I really did, man. I mean, they're like 10 games
Kyle
under
Lowry
without-
is I see, the Sixers, I don't want to call anybody names because some of them we're friends with, but I've seen some tweets about how Kyle Lowry he's the guy they needed all. It's like, I watch Kyle Lowry. He looks washed.
Yeah,
looks
it's
like
nothing,
a washed
it's
player.
nothing special. They might not even make it out to play-in round.
I can't. I mean,
They might
look,
not. They might not make it out to
unless
play-in
Joe
round.
is back. I'm tuned
Well,
out
if
on him
Joe's
until
back,
Joe
you
gets
will.
back.
If Joe's back, you will make it out to play-in round,
Yeah.
but you're not making it past the second round. That's been well established.
Yes, and I'm out on him until Joe gets back. Really, they're really.
I don't think you gain anything by bringing him back.
Me neither.
You're not winning a ring,
No,
and that's the only goal here.
exactly.
So if you know you're not winning a ring, why are you going to put your future of your franchise at more risk unnecessarily?
I would not.
I would not either.
I would punt on this one like
You
they
have
did
to.
at the
You
trade
have to.
deadline.
It sucks, but you have to.
Yep, you have to.
There's no
You
other way to
absolutely
approach
have
this,
to.
man. There's no other way to approach. We're agreeing on a lot of stuff.
I know.
That's kind of rare.
It is what it is. Because listen, when we are looking at the Sixers team, how could we not? I mean, who's going to sit there and say, no, we wait and see. They're going to be dangerous. I've seen that too. They're going to be dangerous when Joe gets back.
Yeah.
It's like, are you out of your mind?
I know. It's funny because usually you are the one more so likely to have the blue goggles on than I am. It's the only of the four sports that you're like the more of the positive guy than I am.
You might be right about that.
Because baseball and football, we know who the positive guy is between us.
Yes, absolutely.
But with basketball, it's different.
Right.
It's
well,
different.
Listen.
But not now, though.
No, not now. And basically because they're favoring I guess Melton's hurt again.
As you rock your answers with the blue tips.
I got the answers on. Yes, this is what it's all about. I'm still got the Sixers hat on. I'm still Sixers out, but I don't believe in them as a team.
As a
right
logical
now without Joe.
Right, as a logical fan that understands the game. Unfortunately, you can't.
You can't.
In terms of championship aspirations.
And when Melton's fully healthy, I can't, in good faith, in any way, start Hield over Melton. Melton is the starter.
Mellon showed me a lot before he went down.
Heald would have impact on this team off the bench.
Well, he'd be your sixth man of the year type of guy.
Yeah.
And that's what you need him to be right now.
And then
Well, when
Lowry,
he comes
too.
back.
Lowry hits the bench. I need guys like that on the bench.
I know, man. I don't even watch the games anymore.
It's
really.
tough.
I follow the live cast a lot. Like on my phone, I'll check it like frequently.
The sad thing is I'll put them on, right? And then if it's just like same thing like last night. Like when they're on head-to-head, for instance, with the Flyers, right? I'll switch over to the Flyers. Now, the Flyers went down big time. They took a beating, I guess, from Toronto. But I was half in on that. I was flipping back and forth, and then eventually turned on Warrior on Netflix.
Toronto's defense was just too much for him, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and I went to Netflix eventually. It's just the way it's gonna be. It's the way it's gonna be.
What do you? So we'll stay on the Flyers for a minute. What do you think of Urson so far?
I like Urson, right? But here's the thing. He's. I like him.
19-13 ain't bad.
No, I know. I like him. Is he the guy? I don't know.
A 2.61 is on the edge of good.
I think
his goals against 2.61 is on the edge. You want to be like more like a 2.1 if you can.
I like him. I liked him I loved him when he was the 1B or the backup, the true backup to Carter Hart.
Right.
But we know what happened with Carter Hart. He's gone, and Erson's now the guy. I don't know if I like him as much as the guy.
Well, he's got 3 shutouts.
He does.
He's got 3 shutouts, but he's also got,
nights where he's been completely obliterated.
2 5-goal games,
right?
Too. Within close proximity, February 17th, March 1st, and a 4-goal game on March 9th when Tampa Bay just absolutely demolished them. So, I don't know. I think the Flyers are still probably 2 years away from being Cup contenders.
Yeah, and look, they're ahead of schedule.
But they are ahead of schedule.
They're a team making their best effort to be a playoff team.
They sure are.
They're making their best effort to be a playoff team.
And I never really get excited about talking hockey, but I'm a little excited about the Flyers.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be able to watch some playoff hockey, I think, this year.
And the Sixers are making their best effort to be a play-in team.
Playoff hockey is actually one of the more exciting types of sporting events to watch.
Yeah, when the Flyers are in.
That's what I mean. Because I'm only watching playoff hockey if we're in. I'm that kind of hockey fan.
No, I'll be honest.
I'm that kind of
I
hockey
was
fan.
when I was a kid. I'm not anymore.
You actually watch the games now.
For Flyers.
Flyers, yeah.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I would watch all the hockey games. I was a fan of Teemu Selanne, Pavel Bure, Jaromir Jagr,
I
Joe
love those
Sakic.
the St. Louis Blues back then. The Avalanche, though, bro. Wow.
I would go.
Sakic,
I would go all around the league to all these guys, the Lemieux, the Gretzkys, the Ray Borks. I was in it.
Yeah.
And I loved them all. Ed Belfour, Chris Chelios.
Ed Belfour, there you go.
I was a fan.
Dominic Hasek.
Yes, I was a fan of Felix Potvin.
Stevie Eiserman.
Yes.
Teemu Selanne.
That's my guy. I just said Teemu Selanne was my guy because of NHL 93, 94 on Genesis. He was unstoppable.
NHL 94 on Sega CD specifically. I logged more hours on that game than probably any game in the history of video games.
I did too. He was unstoppable. RBI 95, NHL 94.
In NHL 94, all you had to do was cut across like the blue or the red line area to the blue line area, right across the middle, and slap it across the middle.
Yes, or you did the one where you faked one way and then at the last second you went the other way and boom, boom. That was the Selanne.
Indefensible.
Right. So that's the thing, right? Is that I'm not a gamer. You know what I mean? I don't play video games ananymore. I'm not on PlayStation.
I occasionally do PS4.
Right.
RDR is a lot of fun.
I don't even do that. I play Madden and NBA Live on the phone.
Okay.
I play
I did Madden on the phone for a little bit. It was cool for like 2 weeks.
I listen. I get a kick out of it. It drains my battery, but I get a kick out of it, right? But like the thing is, I'm not a gamer anymore. When I was a kid, you couldn't tear me away from these games.
Same.
And it made me love. I love the Cleveland Indians because they had this great team.
Albert Bell.
Yeah, Kenny Lofton. They had all these guys.
Yeah, Lofton
I loved them. And I loved all these different teams.
Manny Ramirez
sports.
on that team?
Right.
Young Manny?
I find myself following other teams in really just NFL and NBA and lightly in baseball. Lightly.
I probably do it most in baseball.
Yeah, you do it most in baseball. Probably football next.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then so when it comes to baseball, it's my third because I'm aware of guys on other teams. But like, if you ask me right now to name you the White Sox lineup, I can't do it. Right. I don't even know if I know anybody on the White Sox. I'll be honest with you. I just don't know.
Here we are. We're back in Chicago.
Or maybe even the Royals. I don't think I know anybody on the Royals.
You do. There's that kid they got, Mike Witt Jr.
Okay. I know who he is.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, like,
I get where you're going with it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know these guys. So, like, in hockey, it's even worse.
Same.
I know, like, 5 guys in the NHL that aren't Flyers.
Yeah.
So, like, that's
probably about the same for me.
So that's the thing. I didn't used to. When I was a kid, I knew everybody. And now I don't. So
that's because we were collecting the cards, too.
Yes.
You know, so you're seeing them every day.
Right. Upper Deck had all the sports. Right.
Stadium Club.
I collected the cards. I played the video games. I knew all the guys in every sport.
Hey, look, if you're born in the early 80s, this is what it was.
This is what it was. Yeah. And it's not anymore. I know they're trying to bring it back for this generation. They don't care.
It's different.
Yeah. They have smartphones and laptops.
We could have a whole other podcast on that.
Exactly. All right. If you're a music producer like us, you need Rhythm.
If you're betting on sports tech, you need to download Rhythm.
Yep.
Rhythm makes it easy to find AI-backed picks and player props for every single NFL, NBA, and college basketball game, and it's March Madness tech.
Yes, it is.
You can build custom sports betting models or have AI build them for you and start getting recommended bets, score predictions, and more that will help you to become a better bettor. Download Rhythm now, RITHMM, and start getting free picks daily. Rhythm, the place for data-backed props and picks.
Look, for the birds, there's still a move or two to make, right?
Ooh, it's exciting times out here, man. It's exciting times.
Between now and the next 7 days, we will see what happens. But next week, it's our big Phillies season preview show with our Phillies reporter, Tim Kelly.
It's going to be great, man. Good to have Tim back on.
Yeah, exactly.
As we ramp up for the 2024 Philadelphia Phillies Major League season.
You do not want to miss it. See you next week.
Vet Alumni